Right, it's live match time. I'm on one of my favourite venues. Hopefully we've got a peg full of carp and big F1. That's a £6 F1, I reckon. So I've chucked it to a couple of feet shorter and it's gone straight around. Large portion of F1. It's been an interesting day. Of course, some lovely fish. We'll have to see how we've got on. Well, this is a fantastic Packington fishery, just on the outskirts of sort of Coventry and Solihull, and it's a brilliant venue. Can be a tough venue. I'm on an afternoon match at molands, moody molands they call it. When it fishes, it can be brilliant, but like I say, it can be a bit tricky at times. We've got a real cold, chilly wind in the air. That's why I've got my Sherpa on today. But I'm hoping we're going to catch some fish because it's an afternoon match, and hopefully we'll catch a few fish late down the edge. You could see a £10 F1 today, you could see a £20 carp caught today. It's a special venue if they feed. So fingers crossed we draw a decent peg and we can catch some of them nice quality fish that live in molands. Right, we've got about 5 minutes before the off, if my clock's right, and just getting a couple of hook lengths on my method feeders. You're allowed elasticated feeders here, so I can make one up and have it ready and clip it on and chuck out, so it's good for that. And I'm never ready for a start of a match, but this is a sort of venue where you tend to start on the feeder, so it gives you time to carry on getting ready. So I've got 2 spots on the feeder, one on that nice little point there, and then depending on how it's fishing, I might chuck into a little bay there. So I've got 2 rods clipped up, both 10-foot Horizon Pro feeders. I've got a short pole swim, which is probably hard pellet, and then swap it to meat. And 2 nice margins where it's about 2 foot, just over 2 foot. And very rocky. I've had a poke around, very rocky down there, but it's nice. There's no twigs or branches or anything that I've managed to find. And I've got a mugging rig just in case. There was a couple of ghosties swimming around this morning, this afternoon when we got here. So yeah, it's just worth bearing in mind there might be a big carp swim by, but they're very hard to mug here. So short pole edges feeder, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. You could fish a pellet waggler. I could chuck a mugging waggler if they start showing. The only thing that's going through my mind, maybe I could feed 13, 14 metres shallow with casters or pellets, but I haven't got that out at the moment. I'm going to see how it goes on the feeder, I think. Try and keep it simple. It's an afternoon match. You're going to want to, I think, fish positively, fish to win, and feeder edges should be the 2 spots, maybe a bit of short pole. That's what I'm thinking. So we've got about 3 minutes left. So yeah, I'll just carry on tinkering around, getting ready until the whistle goes. Try and make use of all my time. Typical Jon Arthur session where I'm busy doing bits and bobs and never happy. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I'm going to do some more pellets up. I've done 1 bag already. I'm going to do a second bag up ready, I think, because I'm sure we'll get through those. Maybe down the sides, maybe over there. I've got a bit of ground bait, a bit of match method mix as well mixed up. But we'll do up. Well, I might as well do the old bag. So we've done 2 bags of micros up. I've got some 4mm, 6mm, 6mm meat, dead maggots. That's more than enough. I tend to put a bit of bait booster in me mix as well. And we'll let them soak. We might wet these lot up a bit more for down the sides, but I always get it nice for the feeder, and then take it from there. So we'll let them soak there. We're almost ready. Right, we're off. I don't use moulds. I prefer to do it by hand and just get it dead right. a normal method feeder rather than an open alloy. Seems to be catching a lot of fish on that. Get quite a lot of pellets on that if you need to. And I'm going to chuck to that point to begin with. Where are we going to go? About there. Nice little plop. Sink that line, hopefully we'll get one pretty quick. Now this is the sort of venue you're allowed to feed whilst you're fishing with your pole. So I can feed my pole lines, you're allowed to here, it's fishery rules. So once this is fishing, I'll feed my short pole and maybe one of my margin swims. The wind's sort of in my mush today, but it's quite a nice breeze. It's about 10-11 degrees today, it said, but it's been a bit nippy, but it doesn't feel too cold at the moment. They reckon it's going to get really cold tonight. So now we wait. I'll just carry on pottering around getting ready as well whilst also waiting for that to go round. I've got two method feeders up at the moment, one with pellet and one with wafter. So I'll make the second one up with a 6mm pellet whilst I'm waiting. Try and find a nice long one. There's a lot of roach in this place. There's a little liner then. So sometimes a 6 or an 8mm pellet can be good. I'll swap between a wafter and pellet. You tend to get ragged to death if you fish dead maggots or something like that. Some people fish meat on the method. Just looking around, it gives you a good chance of seeing what's going on around you. See who's starting on the Waggler. A lot of them will start on the Waggler. There's nothing moving around now. But I'm really confident starting on the method feeder here. Take seconds to set my Waggler rod up if I need to. But they'll chuck and chuck and chuck that Waggler and feed 8mm, so I'd rather fish like this. Together. And all the while I'm looking as well, see if there's any muggers about. So there was an odd ghostie swimming around at the start. There's two down here. Right, okay. I've just spotted them. Hopefully my cameraman won't scare them away. I've just spotted this 3 on. Oh crikey, they're big fish. I don't know if I'll be able to swing behind that tree and get them. We'll give it a go. They've just appeared from nowhere. Oh crikey, he's coming towards me, that one. Oh, he's £10. He's gobbing the surface, that one. Hey, oh. We've got a little skimmer or something on the end. There's a great big carp down there. What have we got? That was a little skimmer or something coming back towards me. Yeah, won't make much of a deal in the grand scheme of things. And we up the bank. Oh no, I've hooked my lid. It's always the same. There you are. Where's he gone? He's gone. Yeah, there's a big swell there. If he pops back up. He was there for a little bit. I think I've missed my chance. I'm not sure we'd have been able to reach him anyway. Like just gobbing all the little bits of fluff off the top, I think he was. He was £10 that. Can you see any more down there? Oh, I see him, yeah. Oh, they're miles away now. There's a hatch, isn't there? That's what it is. I don't think we'll reach. I don't think we'll. Then I can swing round that tree. I don't think we'll reach. No. 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 No, we just have to wait for them to drift back. if one drifts back. No. It's worth keeping an eye on that. It's exciting, though, isn't it, when you see them like that? I just seen him 10 seconds sooner, we might have had him. They might drift back up. Because there's a tree here, I can't go much further anyway. It's definitely a hatch. In my experience, they're not very catchable when they're like that. We'll certainly give it a go. Wind's blowing this way again. Very interesting. Some bloke's left a camera tripod there. Can't see a thing now. Oh yeah, I see. See that one? That's on him. Go on. Huh? I reckon they're F1s. Some of them are F1s, aren't they? There's a... Yeah. So gear-wise, if you can hear me in between the geese, it's I've got a 018 main line to an 018 up length, because I quite like going a lightish main line because of the wind and everything with such a long line. And it's just a 0.2 gram dibber and a 14 to 16 slick, 6mm pellet. 6mm pellet. We got one. He is not coming in, is he? He's just staying out there. There's some stunning fish in here. He's circling a bit, almost like he's foul hooked, so we'll see. I can still see a couple down there. Unbelievable. You don't normally see him like that here, to be honest. It's not that sort of venue. So that's why it's worth keeping your eyes open. But I don't know how I managed to swing past that tree. If we get this in, it'll be a mega start, because he's probably 8 to 10 pounds, I'm guessing. I don't think he's in the mouth, unbelievably. The way he's circling, I'm going to say that's in the tail. Which is a bit unlucky considering how shallow I was fishing. He's not coming in head first, is he? You don't really want a 10 pounder coming in tail first. So we might not get this one in, which is a shame. He's not in the mouth. Which might explain why he's staying out there so much. Come back. Yeah, he's not in the mouth. There's no way in the world that's in the mouth. And he's gone back to where he was feeding in the first place. Gee. Oh, don't go there, mate. I mean, I'm only fishing a foot deep. You shouldn't be foul hooking them there. Yeah, he's gone back to tell his mates. Oh no. Oh, he come in lovely, didn't he, for a bit? Sure, I've got my landing net here. I'll put that back for a bit. He's just going to break me, that. He's a big old kipper. Not sure if I want to add any more sections or not, really. No, he's broke me. He's come off. Oh, what a shame. Oh, he's not even broke me. He's just come off. Slightly straightened my hook. Oh well. Could have been a nice start. Problem is, he's come off exactly where they were. Right. We'll leave that rig there so we know where it is if they reappear. Would have been a nice start, wouldn't it? Sneaky 10-pounder. I thought I did well to hook him. Let's feed a few pellets on the short line now. And a few micros on down the side. Pop wanting to undo itself. Oh, they're there again now. Shoal of them. They're within reach, they are. Right, I'm gonna have to go for them because that's not moving. No one's catching over there, and there's clearly fish there. So let's just have another look. They were about there. Can't see the ripples got up again now. They were exactly there when I last looked. I can't really see now. Sometimes you just keep plopping it. If you can't see them, you might just get one that you didn't even know were there. F1, innit? I would have said. What a bonkers way to start a match. Ooh, never. Oh, scale. So he weren't in the mouth. 2 scales on the hook. Yeah, he looked properly hooked. I think at some point they'll turn on. They just seem a little bit reluctant so far. This should go round this chuck. If there's any fish there, this should go round. Thought it swam towards me. So there's enough bait out there for one to be there, so I was gobsmacked if it didn't go around. Nice F1, I think. Didn't do a lot, did he? Beautiful golden F1 though. One of the best looking F1s in the country, I think, in this place. Can you see that? We're off. Finally. We're already thinking 4 nets might be a bit optimistic, but I'd rather put them in at the start than put them in later on and scare the fish. Well, we're an hour in, and so far I've got one nice big F1, about £3, and a rudd. And we've lost an F1 and we've lost a carp from a little ball of fish that were in the corner there mooching around. But it's clearly not fishing right at the moment. The fish have switched off. I told you it's quite chilly this morning. And there's fish about, but they're just not opening the gobs. Yeah, right on. No, he was on and off. That was a good sign though. Not sure what happened there. Quickly cut this one on and off. Well, I just had one on then, and that's my hook's gone. I don't know if it's hit a rock or something like that. So it's one of those, you know, terrible first hour. So it's just a case of trying to keep your head. Hopefully it'll all come good. No pressure today anyway, other than the cameras. It's a nice friendly match. Yeah, definitely not the start we wanted. That just shot round and I've come back without hook length. So maybe it's hit a rock or something. But there's fish topping in that corner where I cannot get to, where the tree is. And I dare say after a bit of pressure, that there's little corners that'll always sit and find refuge, and that's certainly one today. But we'll keep the faith. I'm confident in what I'm doing. And I know exactly how this venue can fish. But it'll be like a light switch if they do suddenly turn up. Just going to drop it a touch short of this cast. Just into slightly deeper water. Sometimes those F1s will sit a little bit deeper. The carp tend to be tight across if there's any feeding. But the F1s will sometimes sit a foot or so back, you know, a couple of feet back. Yeah, so we're probably a couple of feet back now. Some days they just want to sit in that slightly deeper water for a little bit till they start competing. We will see. I might make up a third method feeder just to fish dead maggots. We'll see. Just for a different hook length on. You have to know what to do when it's like this. We'll keep potting. I'm not going to throw, I'm just going to pot on that short line. The more you throw, the more roach and rudge you'll catch, so I'll just rather just pot periodically. There we are. Try to climb up the far bank. That's interesting then. So I've chucked it to a couple of feet shorter and it's gone straight round. Just trying to get around the island. It's nice when you make a change and it actually works. There again. There was one there. Oh yeah, I can see him. I'm just gonna let's try even shallower then. Tend to fish a bit deeper than what you can see. Oh yeah, he's there. He's oh, hey up. We've got a big stick or something. I don't know, fish is it? What we got here? Oh, it's coming. Unless, what? There's nowhere in the world that was a fish, and now it is. I'm convinced I was dragging a stick in. Welcome to my world. Maybe I've reeled into one on the way in. 100% I'd have said, oh, I've just caught a stick. Halfway back, stick's growing fins. What the? It's in the mouth as well. It's common carp, about £5 in the mouth. I've winched it in saying that's a stick. put a heavier float on for that meat line. I'm just wondering whether to start feeding casters or not. I'm gonna get some out. The fact that they're mooching and gobbing the surface, they might come up. Where's our casters here? A load of old casters from a festival anyway, so they need using up. What a strange old day, Benjamin. I thought it might be. I really did. Curse of the camera, isn't it? Okay. Drop my catapult. Good job they float. I'm going to start loose feeding casters about 12 to 13 metres. Won't do any harm. It's so slow on the feeder and everywhere else that maybe they just want to be up. They're clearly eating natural baits down there, so maybe they'll want some natural baits out there. We'll pop a jigger rig up and a fixed rig. Might even be able to use my edge rig, my light edge rig for out there. I've got a case full of short kits with rigs on already as well. Strange old start to a match. Normally afternoon matches should be just a lift off from the start, but just feel cold. The fact that I've got my Sherpa on in April perhaps says it all really. So we're going to feed that casters for half an hour anyway. And we got time to sort our rigs out for that. It wasn't really what I was planning on doing, but it might work. It's one of them moody days. Right, let's get a deeper rig for my meat. I've got a 0.4 gram for hard pellets, but I'm going to go heavier with meat just to get it down through the nuisance fish. All these are tied to extra long line, aren't they? Yep. So that's a 3/4 gram. That's the one. Just a what they call slim carbons. Brilliant float. Fish are 16 to 014 because they're a little bit moody. 6-inch hook length. I'm going to put a shot on the hook length so I can vary how close it is. I tend to do that on my deeper rigs. But no one, I can see no one's catching. What you got now, Steve? Deaf. Don't want to talk to me. He had got an F1 and a skimmer after an hour. Oh, line up. I think we're all just waiting for him to arrive down the edge. But it's what you can catch in the interim. make and break the match. Nudge forward, isn't it? It's gone tighter again. So I've still got the option of chuck in there as well, which I... Huh? Say what? What? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, he's doing it again, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen an F1 doing that before. I've seen them tail walking over there before, you know, like at Barston and that, where they just tail walk. Welcome to the Midlands. They're a lovely stump when you get them. Yeah, there's definitely some bricks or something there. Oh. Oh, come on. Come on. There's two there. Gotcha. There was two there, wasn't there? That has got to be in the mouth. And it looked like a carp. There was a ghostie next to it, wasn't there? That just appeared. It might be an F1 actually. She's not. Mad. Please stay on. Nice common it is, I think. There was two, weren't there? Right next to each other. Ain't no F1. It's almost like their quiet space, isn't it, that corner, where no one can get to them very easily. What the? He was coming in so nice. How big was that common carp? I'll generously click 6. It's probably 5. They are heavy fish in this place. They're making me look stupid, these fish today, aren't they? I don't want to add sections, but you don't want to come. Come on. Just clothesline, there's some fish there. He came in quite nicely, didn't he, at the start? I bet he's in the chin now. Yeah, I sometimes don't mind that. I sometimes think they out-colour it up. Oh, he ain't half as big as he looked. Still got his tail out. He's long, isn't he? Oh, he's big enough. Look how long he is. I'll call you John. Cool, he's only just hooked. Long John. Yeah, he'll do. £3. Go on, go on. Swim. We got one down there. I'm getting it baited up ready. So we are 2 hours in. I've got 4 F1s and 2 carp, I think, for about £20. I've generously clicked about 20, so it might be a bit less. Could be a bit more, knowing me. We've finally managed to mug one, a big long lean common, which pulled my arm off down that side. So we keep an eye on the fish there. And yeah, everything else has been on the method. But the bottom's a bit funny over there. I've already come back and it was snagged up a couple of times. You think it's gone in nice, and then you reel in and it's caught up on something. So I've still got the option of chucking into that bay, but it's quite, I think there's an odd fish where I am chucking. I feel I'm going to catch a few if I just keep building this spot. I don't feel I need to start a new swim, but I keep potting meat and micros down the side and just meat 2+2, and I have started loose feeding some casters. And it's lovely now, it's lovely and flat. Quite generous pouch, there's loads of roach and rudd and stuff in here. I say sometimes 4mm pellets is better, but I've got these casters from left over from a festival, so I first thought we'll start loose feeding them and just say. So there we are. We're doing okay, I think. I've not seen a lot else being caught. Not a lot being caught at all. So it's clearly a slow day, but I think it's just gonna, you know, the last hour should be pretty good. I'm still predicting a good last hour. Rod and crash in there in the next peg. Is that the right one? Yeah, that'll do. I'll start with a longish lash to begin with, so I just flick it around a bit. 20-inch. Strung out. Let's go 18-inch. 3 number 11 strung out, 0.1 dibber. They don't always like going under a pole tip here. So a long rig that I can move up and down and flick about can sometimes be better. But normally you just catch roach, but we'll see, we'll see. We will see. I'm just fishing a 16 to 014, 0.1 dibber. Oh, that pulled the tip down, could have been a silverfish. Hopefully it was an F1. Looked a bit roachy. So I fish this lake so many times, it's brilliant when it works, but quite often and not, it doesn't work. I think my best weight caster shallow here is £180. But for every day you catch shallow, there's probably 2 or 3 you don't. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's the sign we want, boys and girls. I want to feed again, but let's get some feed out. Oh well, that's what we want. Like I say, they're monstrous when you catch them. That's a mega sign anyway. I'm going to start wishing I'd fed this from the off. Just a banded caster. They're not fresh casters either, they're, like I say, they're probably 2 week old left over from my festival. We'll swap between this and a jigger as well, because sometimes that jigger's better. Pop a shallower rig on with a shorter lash and do a bit of tapping then. Put another shot on that as well, I think. That was a big one. I told you the F1s were big. So I shallowed up, put a shallower rig, no sign of him at all at that depth. But he's well over £4, isn't he? I'm going to start wishing I'd done this from the off. But looking at it this morning, we've been so cold, didn't really think it'd be a cast a shallow day. But they're clearly not behaving. I just want to sit up in the water. Because they certainly don't want to come down the side. Push me. Then I'm going to pop another shot on that rig because it was sitting a bit high. Cool, 2 big F1s shallow. Not a single swirl. Keep feeding a little bit there. Better now. If you can dot it to a pimple, do. Especially for these big uns. They'll suck it in and spit it out in the blink of an eye. That was an F1 then. A little waft. Ooh. Yeah, we've got 2 hours to go. I've just had three nice big F1 shallow on caster, but I can't string them any together. But at least I've caught some fish there. I can hear Steve Pearce on 46. He's just had a couple of big fish. Can't see a lot else being caught to my left. But yeah, we're moving into the last 2 hours now, and I'm starting to think, you know, that edge needs to kick in soon. If we're going to do any damage. But there's an odd fish shallow, but they're so hard to catch. So yeah, I'm going to make a couple more adjustments on this, try a little bit deeper again, and then we're going to have to drop short. I'm going to discount my meat short line. I think I'm just going to feed meat down the edge here. I'm throwing it now. And I still haven't made my mind up what to feed down to the right yet. Let's go a bit deeper on the caster. See if we can't catch a couple more on this. Deeper rig. I think it's a big F1s, but I don't think there's loads there. But there's definitely an odd one. But they're so clever in this place. There's clearly not enough to be competing, but there's an odd one up there. That was a little silverfish, I think that was. Some of those bites, I'm sure, are F1s. I mean, I've got a case of short kits with different rigs, different depths and everything. I just leave them on my short kits, all my shallow rigs this time of year. I tend to make them up for the venue I'm on, but I've just come back from wire taker, so they're all sort of made up for there. Not that I caught anything shallow at wire takers, but they were there. Ooh, missing a few bites there now. Yeah, I've just got 0.1 rigs, all sorts of different lengths. A couple of cut down stubby slims that I use for deeper fishing. And a couple of jiggers. Some with a band, some without. But I've just got bands for fishing caster. Oh, look, that big thing just came through. Come on then, go on. He's got to have it. Yep. Oh, that was him. Great big carp came into the peg. I'm not sure I'd have got him out on this rig. Huge thing just came in and float shot under and missed him. I'm missing bites though, that's the annoying thing. So I should have had one by now. Oh yeah, moan one on. It felt like there were F1s I were missing. It actually doesn't feel like there's loads of too many silvers in the peg. Well, might be that carp. It might be him. Oh, come on. Might have foul hooked it. Broke me. I reckon that was that carp. Nope. Right, let's have a look down the side. Well overdue. And we'll keep priming that shallow line. Hopefully they've just backed off. 1, 2, 3. This is my light rig to begin with, which is 12 to 14 slick. But I might be on the old yellow or green once we know what's there. Right, put a big pile of ground bait down there. If in doubt, give them a big pot. Gonna wet it up a bit more. Nice and wet. I'm gonna put some dead maggots in as well. Some carp. One big pot. Give it a bigoosh. Quick look shallow. Touch deeper. I'm not too surprised I haven't caught on that jigger because they're not competing, there's not enough fish there. So just fishing nicely through the water, a little light rig. A couple of ducks there won't do a miss. Hopefully, try not to scare them. We might catch. No, don't spook. Keep the ducks happy. Ooh. Pull me pole tip down, that did. And that one. This is like every time I do one little change I get a fish and then I've got to do another change. Keep looking down here and see if I see any signs, nothing. They're just big F1s, so they're just clever. Especially at this venue, they're just hard to catch at the best of times. So it's no surprise that I'm waiting between fish, but they are worth catching. Every single one's been a good size, isn't it? I pushed my last dropper up just so everything was a bit more floaty and wafty. Sometimes fools a few fish. And I'll try it bulked just above the hook length another time. Just keep bringing the changes really. It's not the sort of day where I think you can just fish at one depth with one rig. You've got to keep trying to fool these fish, which are clearly there. We'll start another net anyway, but we're nowhere near filling that first one, but I don't like to overfill. So we're probably 18-20 inches deep now. I'll try and catch one more at that depth. I just tapped it as well, just tapped the surface and it went. It feels lovely now. The weather's suddenly improved, lovely and flat and nice. That breeze that was in my face is gone. So another one coming when I tap it, but they're on edge. This is feeling a bit better. Definitely feeling a bit better. So all I'm going to do now for the rest of the match is this and feed the margins. I can't see any point doing anything else. Just keep some casters going here. So they're not really old casters. Lovely chestnut F1. And he's got to be 4 pound, hasn't he? Oh yeah, all day long. Start feeding casters down to my right as well. Can always convert it to something else, but went bang, 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 they've gone again, haven't they? Just enough to keep you there, haven't they? Just enough interest to keep you there. I'm starting to feed some casters down to my right as well, really, just as a throwaway. They may or may not come there, but I've always got this line with ground bait and maggots as well. Just means I can potentially just drop this rig down there. Lovely big F1s. I really didn't think I'd need to be, well, I didn't think this would work when I got here at the start. Look at these stunning fish. For whatever reason, they don't want to feed properly any other way. So we've got 1 hour and 5 minutes. It sounds like it is fishing really, really hard. My mate Steve's been round and he says Lee Richards was doing well. Not quite sure where he is. But no one else was really catching much. So it sounds like I'm doing okay. if everyone's being honest. Nicking an odd fish shallow. But it can definitely be won and lost in this last hour with some edge fish. There's an odd fish there still. They're great big F1s when you catch them. Just don't feel like there's loads there. So yeah, it's definitely time to have a look down the side. And we will keep dropping on this line. And keep priming it. Oh, one just rolled then. I've been feeding casters down to the right as well. Purely because that's what I've got next to me really. I thought I'd try something different to my right. And ground bait and maggots to my left. The meat's just been a waste of time. So I've kind of given up on that. But that'll just go back in the freezer. Happily use that meat again. Ooh, that was an F1. That was an F1. And that. And that. Ooh, something just swirled right near my float. Clever things. That worked, didn't it? Yeah, just push the float up another 3-4 inch. Every time you seem to make a change, you get a response, but it doesn't last for enough for fish. Probably waste of time throwing some casters down there. You never know. I use these sessions to try and learn things for other sessions as well, other matches. Feels a big one. Does feel a big one. There'll be another one there. I could tell because I missed a couple of bites. You can almost tell when they've arrived again, can't you? Breakdown ready for down the side because it took a while, that one. I'll feed it. I'm quite keen to have a look down the side. Use my puller for that one. Big wallower. Oh, have a quick look down the side because it took a while, that one. 3 dead maggots. Come on. So I'm not seeing so much of a swirl or an indication or anything down there, so it doesn't feel like any carp have come in. That's F1, I think. That's a good sign, isn't it? Snaked away, that did. Good. So normally I have an even stronger wriggle. I kind of forgot to set it up, to be honest. But the way it's fishing, this is the rig I'd be using anyway, I think. That's good anyway. First look down there, ground bait and maggots. The old faithful. I'm going to pop a few micros in as well, just to keep the fish down. So it's not so much as a sign there, it's 2 foot deep. Not so much as a swirl or a vortex or anything to suggest this fish was down there. It might be a carp. I'm just on an 018, 14 hook, 018. No, I just think it's an F1. It might actually be a foul hooked F1. The way he didn't look very big under the surface. Or is it a tench? It's a tench. Tench. Monkey wrench. I thought it was different. Oh yeah? Tommy Tinker. I haven't caught a tench for ages. Brilliant. A small amount down there again. I'm going to feed the same down to the right. I've already made my mind up to forget those casters that I was feeding. I'm just going to feed ground bait and maggots there as well. It's that time of day now. Don't forget that shallow line. Thing is, a tench is lovely to catch, but it's not necessarily a good sign that there's anything else down there. They tend to be scavengers. Got a little bit of ground bait. I've not mixed up loads of ground bait anyway. Probably only did a kilo. I'm not one of these that piles it in. A few dead maggots, a few micros. A bit more water. Nice and wet. Nice to catch a tench, isn't it? Like I say, it generally means there's not a lot else down there. Do not neglect that shallow line. Right, come on then. £10 carp this time. That was a weird one. Just bringing it back to change the depth and it's on. I was going to shallow up a bit. Might not be in the mouth. Might have just pulled it into one. This is a 0.15 cut down stubby slim. I like a nice slim float for this. Some people use the diamonds, but or the F1 shallow. But I prefer a different shape. Yeah, it's just in the nose that, so it wasn't properly up. I'm going to shallow up a touch. I think this rig feels okay, but I just don't think I've got the depth right. That was 30 inch, so let's go 24 inch. Make sure that's I say we should be down the edge catching now, but they're just not coming. I don't think they're there. That was a nice bite, wasn't it? That's 2 foot with a nice bristled strung out rig dotted right down. Yeah, I've got 3 or 4 rigs anyway that I can swap between. Little rod 2 foot deep there. I've got a nice bristle rig. I tend to use the dibbers in up to sort of about 18 inches generally. And deeper than that I'll fish a bristle float. Keep it all nice and light on the light side for F1s generally. On a place like this, keep it all a shot in nice and light. The smaller the float, the better, really. Any sort of resistance, and they just do you. This is nice now. I say I just had that rud, but I've just had two nice F1s on a fishing 2 foot deep with a nice strung out rig. Takes about 4 or 5 number 11s. That's all. 4 inch hook length. 16. But these fish I'm catching out there should be crawling up the bank down the side now, and they don't seem to want it for whatever reason. But I don't mind a bit of evening shallow fishing. But they're generally nice big fish when you catch them on this lake. There's all sorts of sizes, but the margin and shallow fish are generally on the big side. Just using short kits, 10 to 12 slick. But it can be a bit of you could use normal long kits at this venue because the fish are on the big side. If you do hook a carp, I'm sure I've hooked a carp on this and that's what broke me. But I think you'll struggle to get out on any gear, really. Oh, he's a nice one. So some of them come in like wet sacks, and then you get another one and it wants to pull a bit like this. This is the angriest one of the lot. He was behaved. Come on. Might be a carp, the way he's pulling around. Or he might be just under the chin or something. He's certainly, I say the last two have come in lovely. He's just in the cheek, I think. Oh, cheeky. But he's also very big. Oh! That was my chance, wasn't it? When I lose by £4, this will be the fish. He's definitely in the cheek. Or the nose. Basically, boys and girls, everything you've seen today, do not do. Do it better. There we are. Oh, he's a big one. But he's not, he's in the nose, I think. Yeah, in the nostril. Yeah, that is a monster. That's the biggest F1 of the day. Lovely now. Who needs margin fish? That's even bigger. That's a £6 F1, I reckon. He swam out my landing net. There's another £5. Well, I've definitely just had 3 F1s for £15 at least. They're being a bit cute now. There we are. Only £3 that one. They definitely came up for a bit, but they dropped to this really shallow rig, and it's not so much as a knock. There we are. Best way to get a bite is to say, I can't get a bite. Ooh, come back. Come back. Really kited off to the right. Doesn't want to come up. One's a bit camera shy, this one. There's a huge rugby ball of an F1. He's as deep as he is long. Come on. Well, there we are. I think it's fished a bit hard by the sounds of it. A lot of people saying they're shouting across saying they haven't caught a lot, so I don't know how we've done. I've got out of jail catching on caster shallow, I think, because what have I had, 4 or 5 fish on the method. I've mugged that one and lost 2. Nothing's come down the size properly or settled, other than the ducks. And so yeah, we've got out of jail with caster shallow. If I hadn't caught on that, I'm not sure what we would have done. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting day. I've caught some lovely fish. We'll have to see how we've got on. Well, I've had an absolutely brilliant day in the end. I've ended up winning the match with £126. They've weighed, well, I knew they were big fish, but I didn't realise quite how big those F1s were. So they're monstrous, aren't they? So yeah, I've had £126. Steve Pearce second with £91. There was an 86 and an 80. So, but the backup weights have been pretty low, so it's definitely been a bit funny. After an hour, I was worried. What have I had? One F1 after an hour? And obviously lost those 2 fish on the mugging rig as well. Things going completely to pot. And for whatever reason, they've not fed down the edge today. I've had 1 tench down the edge and a few ducks. And yeah, if it weren't for the fact me pulling those casters out after 2 hours, and I've had most of my weight on those casters. I've had 5 or 6 on the method feeder, and then some monstrous F1s, anything from sort of 15 inches to 2.5 foot deep. And then they're hard to catch, but they're well worth catching. So, but it's a special place. You can see the size of the fish. There's not many places where you catch nice looking F1s like that. So yes, it's nice to have had a good result in front of the cameras.